Well, as I always say, Mondays are the most boring days starting the week. However, if you guys are big fans of the Joshi Wrestling scene, you're in luck. You guys are in the right channel. So today we're going to do about 3 reviews from 2 different promotions. The first one is, of course, it's from Oz Academy with the Wizard of Oz with a very interesting tournament. I cannot pronounce it right. Hopefully I pronounce it right when I make the announcement. And this one took place recently in Shinjuku Face back on January 5th, but also features, of course, a non-tournament match and a title match. And we'll get to that as well. And then we're going to do 2 back-to-back reviews with Stardom. As you know, recently we reviewed the New Year Stars with day 1 featuring a small tournament to determine the #1 contendership for the Artist of Stardom champions. So who will be the lucky recipients? Well, on day 2, Cosmic Angels Young Generation face off Hate, but the real question, which one of them will go to day 3 to face the Cosmic Angels? Well, that's a very good question, and I can't wait to review it all for all of you. And then we cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to keep you guys updated on what's been going on in the world of wrestling needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got to do Nike Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions have been said. It's time to warp speed ahead. So, let's begin with our very first review, and that is, of course, Oz Academy. Oz Academy, The Wizard of Oz. Well, we all know the name of that title because we've seen the movie. Guess what, folks? We're not in Kansas anymore. Oh, sorry. I had to do it. But anyway, this event took place recently in Shinjuku Face on January 5th. However, I did mention a tournament, and this one's called the New Year's Make no Kori Magentone Tournament. Now, to be honest with you guys, I was a bit confused when I watched it, and then when I rewatched it, I'm like, here's the thing. The winners don't advance. It's the losers. I know what you're thinking. What? Yeah, I thought so too, guys, when I rewatched it. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, how is it possible? I thought the winners move up ahead. Nope. It turns out it's the losers, and I don't think it's something, I don't know. It's kind it's kind of weird. I mean, I've seen this thing once before, but I didn't expect it. But we'll get to that. Now, let me explain how this rolled up. Our first match, well, we have first round matches, so let's get started with that. Our first match, we have Rina Yamashita taking on Lady Destroyer Matsumi Hiroyi Matsumoto. Now, these two ladies are awesome. I wasn't too sure how this was going to roll up, but however, Rina Yamashita seems like she had this match won. But however, out of desperation, Matsumoto was able to overturn it into crucifix. So that means Rina Yamashita goes to the next round. Now, our next match, we have Akino versus Kakeru. Well, it's no surprise that Kakeru had Dirty Cop by her side and do her dirty work. But unfortunately, this match ended in a count out with with the time of 5 minutes and 10 seconds. However, the real question is, they can't leave it like this, and you probably would guess it or not. How does the loser proceed? Easy. Rock, paper, scissors. Yeah, or as they call it, Jonkin. So, and the person who lost was none other than Hanako. So basically, that's how it rolls up. So, next up, we have Tomoka Inaba taking on the terror of the ring, Momoka Hanazono. So I wasn't too sure where this was going to be, but however, we all know Inaba is a very skillful martial artist. But when it comes to Hanazo, she likes to play dirty tricks. And she was able to pull up a fast one on Inaba when she rolled her up. 1, 2, 3. Well, she doesn't have to advance. So that kind of goes out. It's kind of funny. Now, our next match, we have Kohaku taking on Saori Anu. As you know, Saori Anu is on her own ever since Ozaki-kun called it quits. But however, I wasn't too sure. But this match continued on after 10 minutes. And then, of course, how do we break the tie? Easy. Rock, paper, scissors. So, you probably would figure out who lost in the Jonkin match. Well, that was, of course, Saori lost. So basically, she advances. Our next match, we have Zones versus Ram Kaicho. Now, Ram Kaicho, we know she does the most craziest things ever, ectoplasma. But however, she didn't need to do that. Zone since that she had this match won, but somehow Ram Kaicho was able to fool her when she applied the inside cradle, and just like that, she's safe. Even though, like I said, losers move on to the next round. Next up, we have Coyote no Yonayama taking on Tsubasa Kuragaki. Now, I wasn't too sure how this was going to be, but however, the craziest thing is this. Now, if you think you can fly, you know there's a long distance you can't make. Well, Koriyama was smart enough, not once, but twice, to roll herself out of the way. But however, if you think you can make the distance, go ahead. That's what Kuragaki did. However, it did not work. She tried to do a headbutt, but that cost her completely until, of course, Yonayama applied a crucifix, and just like that, it was over. So, I don't know. Now, our next match, we have, of course, the second round of the tournament. We have Tomoka Inaba versus Hakino. Wasn't too sure how this was going to go, but I thought this was impressive. Hanako had this match won, but somehow Inaba, who knows everything about arm bars or triangle lancers, who's an expert in martial arts, knows how that works, because it did not work in Anako's favor, because Tomoka applied it into a somewhat like a somewhat version of the roll up, but it worked in her favor and she picked up the win. The next match in the second round, we have Zones versus Sayuri Anu, and this match ended with Sayuri Anu applying the pottering, and just like that. So Zones moved on ahead. Now we move into the semifinals. We have Yamashita versus Aquino. Nothing too special about this one, even though the only thing you got to worry about is to win and not advance. But of course, it was Aquino who won with a double knee drop onto the abdomen of Yamashita, and just like that, it was over. And then we have Zones versus Kutagaki, and then it kind of ended with Kutagaki applying a strong lariat, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match is a bit of a non-tournament match. This one features the Izuki Aoki and Sonoko Hakato teaming up, taking on the veterans of course, Oz Academy's founder and boss, Mayumi Ozaki, and Jaguar Yokota. So, of course, you would think that. But, however, when it comes to Mayumi Ozaki, you know that she doesn't give a damn about the rules. She just uses her chain and does whatever she wants. But, unfortunately, that allowed, of course, for Ozaki to apply a somewhat of a similar to a Shining Wizard up to Aoki, and just like that, it was over. Now, our final match of the tournament, we have Zones versus Rina Yamashita. Now, I don't know what happens if he wins in this match because they never applied it. But, however, Zones, Rina Yamashita took up a hell of a fight. But, however, it was Rina Yamashita with the Splash Mountain, and just like that, it was over. Now, I don't know what Yamashita said to Zones, but of course, she also talked to what's her name, Matsumoto, who is Zones' friend and tag partner. So I don't know what they said. I wish I knew, but I'll never know. Now on to our main event. It's the Oz Academy Openweight Championship. We have Ryo Mizunami, our current champion, defending her belt against Unagi Sayaka. Nothing too shabby about this match, but a pretty good one. We know that Unagi has the capabilities to reach the top no matter what. I mean, she has been world champion in some capacities with certain promotions, but however, that wasn't the case for Unagi this year when she ended up in a driver by Mizunami, and just like that, it was over. However, Ryo Mizunami did put out a promo, and then Aquino showed up. I don't know what she said. Then we did see Sayuri Anu, Kohaku, and Kutagaki making their presence. Now, I'm sure that they're trying to determine who will be the most likely candidate to challenge Ryo Mizunami. So we will see when that day comes. But that wasn't going to be today. But I'm sure that's going to be in another time. So we'll see. But for now, I think we are done with Oz Academy. I believe it's time to move on to our next, of course, review, and that is Stardom. Stardom New Year Stars. This is day 2. This took recently, this past Sunday, I believe. And as you know, we continue with more of the number 1 contendership for the Artist of Stardom Championship. So we'll get to that in the end. Now, our first match, we have Hina versus Zuzu Suzuki. Now, of course, nothing too special about this match whatsoever. We know Zuzu is now in the running to challenge for the red belt. I'm sure she wants to build up momentum before then. But she was able to pick up the win against Hina when she applied the tequila shot, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our next match, we have a 4-way match. We have Matoi Hamabe, Waka Tsukiyama, Miyu Amasaki, and Saya Ida. Now, of course, nothing too special about this, except the only drawback is this is Miyu Amasaki, who's the future champion. Now, however, this does not apply with Waka or Saya Ida, but if Matoi is able to pick up a win against Miyu Amasaki, well, she could get a title shot. But however, it was Matoi, who ended up being pinned by Amasaki with her infamous move that she used to pin people, and just like that, uno, dos, tres, she's out. Our next match, we have Rana Yagami and Saki Kashima of God's Eye taking on Neo Genesis, Starlight Kid, and May Sita. Now, this is a preliminary match for those who know this. As you know, recently Saki Kashima won a 5-way scramble elimination match where she challenges for the high speed belt. This will be her third, hopefully, her next attempt to become a third 3-time high speed champion. However, the real question is who will build up the momentum before them, because we do know they will face each other the next day. However, it was May Sita with the Rolling Star on Kashima picking up the win. So we will see what happens the following day, and that is something that we will review eventually. Our next match, we have Hate, consistent of Raka, Tekla, Momo Watanabe, and Saya Kamitani taking on Stars members Momo Kogo, Koguma, and Azuki, and they team up with the ROH Women's World Champion, Athena. Now, of course, this is a preliminary match between Tekla and Athena that dated back all the way to Wrestle, to, of course, New Year's Dream, and now that result is coming to fruition. So you can say who's going to build up the momentum. Well, Tekla doesn't give a damn about momentum. All she cares about is proving she is the top in foreigner in Japan calling the shots. So she disqualified herself by using her belt on her. And then, of course, Tekla telling her that she will be the next ROH Women's World Champion. So we will see that when that happens. Now, our next match, we have Kyoka Kotatsu teaming up once again with God's Eye members consisting of Lady C and Shuri. They take on the core members of the Cosmic Angels and our current artist champions, Sayuri Anu, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. Now, of course, nothing too special about this match, but the one thing they have to be more careful is when it comes to Kotatsu, because A, she's a skillful martial artist. They ought to stay away from her kicks. Now, of course, Tam, we all know she practiced Kung Fu in the past, which is no problem. So you would think that this will be a straightforward victory for the Cosmic Angels. Well, it was. Sayuri Anu was able to pick up the win when she applied the pottering on Kotatsu. I mean, it's a real disappointing loss for her, but I'm sure one day she'll pick up a really good solid win for a title shot. Now, our main event, this is, of course, the number one contendership for the Artist Belts Finals. We have Hate, consisting of Fukigen Death, Rina, and Natsuko Tora, taking on the next generation of Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori. So far, they were able to make it this long. However, we weren't too sure, because we all know when it comes to Hate, they like to cut corners, cheating, using weapons to ensure they win their matches. However, that wasn't the case on this one. But it was Aya Sakura who, in fact, initiated the win by applying a really high kick onto Rina. I mean, Rina's judo expertise would have been a factor, but don't forget, much like Kotatsu, Aya Sakura does have a karate background, and so does the Inaba sisters. So she was able to apply a high kick on Rina, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. They made it all the way to they become number one contenders. But the strange thing is, this is the first time for almost a year since these two sides of Cosmic Angels face off. If you guys remember, the last time they faced off was last year in April, I believe. Was it April or February? One of the two. I don't know. Where, of course, Sakura and Kurara were attempting to gain membership to the Cosmic Angels. Well, they finally got it, and now they have to step up their game. But of course, during the match, the the current champions and the core members of the Cosmic Angels were watching. So I'm sure they have paid attention what's been happening. But of course, what do they said? Well, simple, nothing. Because Tam Nakano, all she did was that's all she did. She didn't say anything. I mean, people were laughing, thinking it was funny. I mean, I don't see anything funny, but I don't think Tam needs to say it. Maybe she thinks that maybe, just maybe, they can step up their game. Who knows? But we'll pay attention very closely because that's exactly what we're going to do next. So let's move on with day 3. Okay, day 3 of Stardom's New Year Stars. Now, this took place today, January 13th, in Korakuen Hall. Now, our first match is the high speed title in a 2 out of 3 falls match between Saki Kashima and Mei Sita. Now, of course, the first fall goes to Mei Sita when she applied the Rolling Star, and just like that, it was over. 1, 2, 3. Second fall goes to Kashima. Now, remember, she applied a brand new move where she puts her opponents in a underhook and does like a knee strike, similar to when you try to do a GTS, but it's not. And I don't know what she calls it, but that helpful, of course, for her to pick up the second fall. However, third fall, that's a crucial part. The real question is who walks out. Well, this one goes to Mei Sita when she applied a somewhat of a power bomb, and just like that, she retained the belt. 1, 2, 3. And then she put out a promo. Don't know what she said, but I'm sure Mei Sita is proud to be a strong high speed champion. Our next match, we have a 3-way match. We have Maitoi Hamabe, Fukigen Death, and Hina. Now, of course, we don't know how this match would go, but what's interesting is normally you will see in this match Maitoi be the one to take on the falls of every match. However, that wasn't the case because Hina applied a ghetto clutch onto Fukigen, and just like that, she wins the match. Our next match, we have Momo Watanabe and Natsuko Tora taking on EXV members, Rian and Waka Tsukiyama. Now, keep in mind, Maika, Hanako, and Mina have not returned yet from their trip. But however, I'm sure Natsuko Tora and Momo Watanabe took a lot of great pleasure to humiliate both of them in this match. But however, Momo was the one who gets the last laugh when she applied a sleeper hold onto Rian, and just like that, tap out, it was over. Our next match, we have Kiyoka Kotatsu and God's Eyes, consistent of Rani Agami, Lady C, Tomoka Inaba, and Shuri, taking on star members Momokoko, Saida, Hanan, Koguma, and Azuki. Now, many of you know this or not. The one thing that Suri cannot stand is the dang bear dance. She has enough. Now, every time we seen Koguma try to get Rani Agami to do the bear pose, Suri tells her, no, no, don't do it, no. Well, this time it had no effect for either of them because, of course, what happens next is this. Shuri was being held captive outside the ring by Saida, while her teammates, well, I felt sad for them and sorry that they ended up being like that. Shuri couldn't stand. She was like this. No, no, I can't watch, I can't watch. She's like, she can't watch it because she can't stand it. Now, she can't blame her team getting involved in this, but she can't stand it. But however, that does not change anything. Once again, Koguma has confronted Yagami, and Yagami ended up on the Kumaro, and just like that, I'm sure that Shuri will get a bit of a measure of revenge against Koguma for her her childish ways. I mean, Sure, you may try to poke the bear, but the bear always fights back. I mean, I never poke a bear before. Well, not an actual bear, but someone who acts like a bear. But we'll see what happens. Next match, we have a somewhat of a preliminary match. We have Neo Genesis, Miyu Amasaki, Zuzu Suzuki, and Starlight Kid taking on Hate members Azusa Inaba, Rina, and Saya Kamitani. Now remember, Zuzu issued the challenge for the red belt, and of course, Kamitani is looking forward to it. But this match had an interesting ending. It was, of course, Azusa Inaba with a knee strike onto Amasaki, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. So that means Azusa Inaba is now going to make a play for the future belt. And I'm sure Amasaki is not going to let that happen. But of course, Kamitani, being all evil that she claims she is, well, she doesn't know evil like Zuzu does. Well, Zuzu took a bite out of her shoe, just like that. I don't think she expected it. But Zuzu, she doesn't give a damn what Kamitani thinks. But that's how it rolls. Now, our next match, this is for the ROH Women's World Title, Tekla versus Athena. Now, how did we got to this point? Simple. Tekla tag team with Athena back in New Year's Dream, taking on Mina Shirakawa, and I forgot who else. Oh yeah, and Ty Mello. However, Tekla sees Athena has the same kind of way. She hates everything that Mina Shirakawa is. But however, Athena is more of a self-centered person where she thinks the world revolves all around her, and Tekla is not into that. So, of course, Tekla cost Athena to win the match at the International Women's Cup on Wrestle Dynasty, and then this. So, but the one thing that Athena does not have is people that would have her back, because, of course, when it comes to Tekla, her teammates' hate is going to be there to ensure to pick up the win. Well, it backfired, but it was Athena with the eclipse onto Tekla, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. However, Athena did say that she appreciates her ways, but she said she would love to have another match, but this time in the States. I'm sure this is what Tekla wants, because she often says she would love to wrestle in the States. But we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our main event, a Cosmic Angels Showdown. We have Sayaka Kurara, Aya Sakura, and Yuna Mizumori taking on the core members of the Cosmic Angels, Sayuri Anu, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano. As I said before, this is not the first time they faced off like this before. The last time was last year when Kurara and Sakura intended to join the Cosmic Angels in a entry match, but of course they got in. Now they have to step up their game. I have to say this match defined how much all three, not the, I wouldn't say rookies for all of them, but well, Yuna Mizumori, she's not technically a rookie. I mean, she has wrestled for a couple years, but I have seen how Kurara has grown. I mean, she had a great match when Rina was still the future belt. Not to mention a great match when she went to Umajaja tournament in Sendai and then have that match with Chi-Chi. Kurara had amazing wins against Kamitani and many other wrestlers. I mean, many people have praised them. But this match was unbelievably amazing, because we have seen individually all three of these women grown. Yuna Mizumori, I forgot to mention, she even stepped up her game as a high-speed competitor. And it fit perfectly. So basically, everybody has grown up individually. But the real question we ask ourselves, how are they as a team? Now, they have teamed up before, but now they stepped up a little bit of their game. And I have to say, they pulled it off very well. I mean, I was impressed by certain parts of the teamwork. Kurara, once again, speared Tam Nakano. I mean, Tam did say that her spears are flawless. And then she applied a Falcon Arrow, but unfortunately, Kurara ended up on the Violet Screwdriver, and just like that, it was over. But I think Tam Nakano, Natsupo, and Sari Anu are proud of them. They're not saying they're happy they won, but they're happy to see that, of course, all three of their opponents, they have grown. They have seen significant progress on their part, and I think that's what matters. But we do know these three will obtain their goals. I mean, people are expecting Kurara and Sakura win the new blood tag belts. I mean, that's one goal. The future belt. Who knows? But can't wait what the future holds for them. So we'll just have to wait and see where we go. So I think that's pretty much it. I hope everybody enjoys me seeing a review with just pure Joshi Wrestling. So let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news update. So let's begin with upcoming events. Now, on the 17th of January, which this is this Friday, I believe, we have the House of Glory Chicago event. Um, Joe Alonso will take on a guy named Pumi. I don't know if that's his name pronounced right, but yeah. Then, of course, 2 days later in New York City for on January 19th, the People versus GCW. We have ECW legend Sabu making his place. That's going to be fun. Now, those who know this, next weekend, this coming Saturday, Tokyo Pro Wrestling will have their annual tag team tournament called Max Heart 5. And I'm sure that the winners will get a chance for the Princess Tag Team belts. And here are the teams involved in this. Let me pull it out for you guys. Yes, here it is. Shoko Nakajima and Hyper Misawa. Daisy Monkey, Zumi, and Arisu Endo. Ooh, my favorite. Max the Impaler and Pamada Juku. They're in it. Yuki Kamifuku and Wakana Uehara. That's kind of strange because Yuki normally teams up with Mahiro Kiru, but she's teaming up with Haruna Neko. In real life, those two are real life friends. It would make sense. Haru Kashido and Toga makes sense. They debuted together, and not to mention they did challenge for the tag belts. Um, Yuki Aino and Raku, no surprise there. Miyu Watanabe and Uda Takami, yep. Yoshiko Hasegawa and Kaya Toribami. Imawari, Shingo Shizuki, and then we have Ivy Steels and Kira Summer, and then finally Mifu Ashida and Chika Nanase. So basically, of course, the current champions will wait the winners until Grand Princess 2025, which will take place, I believe, in March. So that's going to be happening soon. DDT will have their upcoming Korakuen Hall event on the 26th of June. 2 title matches will be taking place. First is the DDT Extreme Championship. Gorgeous Matsuno will defend its belt against Dan Dino. And then we have the DDT Universal title. Yuki Ueno will defend it against Gringo Loco. And also, ICW No Holds Bars will have a world tour. They just announced for that. March 1st, they will be in Boston, Massachusetts. And then they'll be heading to Sheffield, England for 2 days on March 21st and March 22nd. And then they'll go on April 4th to Detroit, Michigan. And then April 5th to Chicago. Then they'll have 2 back-to-back event days, May 2nd and May 3rd in Chattanooga, Tennessee at the TWE Arena. And then, of course, the 3 Japanese shows. One in Tokyo on the 18th and the 19th, and then the 21st in Nagoya. So practically, that's pretty much what they have for that. Now, Fightful selects that, as you all know, Omos made his debut in Noah. He is now having a new moniker called the Super Megaweight. It's a very catchy thing. I like it. Now, many of you know, it seems WWE are now have an interest in Brock Steiner, who is the son of Scott Steiner and, of course, Braun Breaker's cousin. It appears now Scott Steiner has confirmed that WWE has an offer an NIL deal with Brock. So we don't know when he'll be making his appearance, but that's going to be interesting to see. And then finally, as you all know, I did not witness it. I did not see Raw, but I am fully aware that Penta made his debut, and I saw his daughter was very emotional to see him, which of course is understandable, seeing her dad do accomplishable things. However, it was later revealed by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful Select that Jaime Noble produced Penta's debut. There's been, of course, he was listed for during his match not to have a no commercial break whatsoever. So I have to say it's interesting to hear about that. So we'll see how much of the red carpet they have put out for Penta, and I'm sure many of you, every fan, are happy in WWE. So we'll see what happens. So I think that's pretty much it. Let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, as you know, we will have NXT. I haven't decided yet what other events to review, but as I did it for today, I'll wing it again. So we'll see what happens. But until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day. Bang.